Have you ever been out shopping, talking with someone, or sitting quietly at home and suddenly realized you need to find a bathroom right now? Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night to damp sheets and felt a wave of shame wash over you? If so, I want to say this first, gently and with full honesty. You're not alone, and you have nothing to be ashamed of. I'm 78 years old. And it took me nearly a decade to learn something that should have been simple: urinary. Incontinence does not make you less of a person, but I didn't always believe that. I used to feel embarrassed every time I wore adult briefs. I stayed seated at family gatherings so no one would notice a wet spot. I stopped accepting invitations to church socials or dinners with friends because I didn't trust my own body anymore. It wasn't that I was weak, it's that I had convinced myself I was no longer normal. But here's the truth I wish someone had told me earlier: incontinence is incredibly common after 60. In the US alone, more than 1 in 3 adults over 65 experience some form of bladder control issue, men and women alike. Some leak when they laugh, some lose control when lifting their grandkids, some after surgery, some with age, but most of us stay quiet because we're taught to be embarrassed, and that silence, that's what really hurts. Not because we're weak, but because we've spent our entire lives being told to stay in control of our words, our bodies, our emotions, and when our bodies stop following the rules, we think we've failed. I used to believe that too, until one afternoon I saw my neighbor, she's 82, walking out to her garden wearing soft grey pants. She bent down to pick a flower, and I noticed a small wet patch. I looked away, politely, but then I heard her laugh. She turned to me and said, "Honey, at this age I leak like a teapot with a crack, but I still bloom every spring." We both laughed. She wasn't ashamed, and neither was I in that moment. That little moment broke something open in me. I began to realize this isn't about weakness. This is about living in a body that's aging and learning to live with it gracefully. I started reading. I learned about products that are discreet, thin and protective. I found out there are simple exercises like Kegels that can help, and more importantly, I started talking about it. I told my daughter. She paused, and then she hugged me. "Mom, it's okay, you're still my mom, always will be." And just like that, the shame I'd carried for years began to lift. If you're still listening, and you've felt what I felt, please hear me now. You are still worthy of love, dignity, and respect, even if you wear adult briefs, even if you leak a little at night, even if your body doesn't work quite the way it used to. Incontinence does not make you less intelligent, it doesn't make you less valuable, and it sure as heck doesn't erase the decades of life you've lived and the wisdom you've earned. And if you're still uncertain, I get it, but I invite you to stay with this message, because in the next part, I'll share how I overcame the shame, how to talk about this with your family, how to find quiet confidence in public again, and how to start enjoying life again, fully, openly, freely. Getting older doesn't mean giving up, it just means learning to live a little differently. And once you stop hiding, you'll see something beautiful. Peace is still waiting for you, right here, right now, in the body you have. After I let go of the shame, something amazing happened. I started going outside again. I started laughing louder. I started living like myself again. Not like a problem to be hidden. But getting to that place took time. And it took some real changes. Not just in how I saw myself, but in how I handled the practical parts of living with incontinence. So if you're someone who's tired of hiding, if you've avoided road trips, long dinners, or even going to the movies out of fear, let me share what helped me, slowly, gently, and in real-life terms, because I'm not here to tell you to just be confident. I'm here to show you how to get there. Talk about it. Yes, even if it's awkward, I used to believe incontinence was a me problem, something to suffer in silence. But the moment I spoke it aloud, everything changed. It started with my doctor. I had delayed that appointment for years, but when I finally said, "I'm having some trouble holding it," he didn't look shocked. He didn't even blink. Instead, he nodded and said, "That's very common. Let's talk options." That's when I learned there are medical reasons this happens. For some, it's nerve-related. For others, it's muscle weakness after childbirth or prostate surgery. For many, it's just the bladder aging like the rest of us. Once I understood the why, it was easier to forgive the what. I told my daughter next, then a friend. I wasn't looking for advice, just understanding. And I got more than that. I got hugs, stories, laughter. Turns out everyone knows someone going through it. But no one talks about it until someone else goes first. Be that someone, even if your voice shakes. 2. Find products that respect your dignity. Let's be real. Most of us, when we hear adult diapers, think of something bulky, uncomfortable, even humiliating. But that's not what they are anymore. There are modern briefs, slim, breathable, and quiet. There are pads designed for light leaks. There are even washable underwear that feel like regular clothes but with protection built in. I had to try a few brands before I found what felt right. Some leaked, some were scratchy. But when I found the right fit, I stopped worrying if people noticed anything. Because I didn't notice anything, and that's the goal. Think of it this way. You don't wear shoes just because your feet might get dirty. You wear them because they help you move through the world with confidence. Same here. Don't think of it as something embarrassing. Think of it as one more tool that lets you live your life fully again. Plan smart and don't apologize. For it now, I don't go anywhere without knowing where the bathroom is. I carry an extra pad in my purse just in case. I limit caffeine when I know I'll be out for long, and none of that means I'm fragile. It means I'm prepared. You'd be surprised how a little planning takes the edge off your anxiety. Years ago, I missed my granddaughter's play because I was afraid I'd have an accident during the second act. Now, I sit near the aisle. I go before I sit down. I wear protection. And I don't miss a thing. I've even told a friend or two when we're out, hey, if I step away quickly, I'm just taking care of something. No shame, no drama, just honesty. Because the truth is, when we act like it's no big deal, it stops feeling like one. 4. Let go of the fear of judgment. This is the hardest part. I won't lie. We live in a world that praises youth, strength, and control. So when you lose control of something as basic as your bladder, it's easy to feel like you're failing. But hear me, you are not failing. Your body is changing. That's it. Just like your hair grayed, your joints stiffened, or your eyes need glasses. Would you judge someone for using a cane? Then don't judge yourself for using the bathroom more often, or for wearing protection. The people who truly love you don't care about your leaks. They care about your laughter, your stories, your presence. Anyone who makes you feel less than for a bodily function, that's their issue, not yours. And honestly, at this stage in life, you don't owe anyone an explanation. Let yourself be free again. One day, after finally accepting all of this, I went on a walk with a group of seniors at the park. I had protection on. I had planned my water intake. But more importantly, I wasn't worried. I watched the leaves rustle. I laughed with my neighbor. And I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Freedom. It wasn't because the incontinence stopped. It was because the shame did. And once the shame lifted, I could breathe. I could live. I could show up. That's what I want for you too. So, take a deep breath. This isn't the end of your independence. This is the beginning of your courage. Your body may be changing, but your spirit is still vibrant. And your life, your beautiful, ordinary, extraordinary life, is still yours to live, fully and freely. Let's take a quiet breath together. You've made it this far in the conversation, and that means something. It means you've opened your heart. It means you're willing to see yourself in a kinder, more honest light. It means you're ready, or at least curious, to live with more ease, less shame, and deeper self-respect. So allow me to remind you gently, you are not broken. You are simply aging. And aging is not a mistake. It is the most natural, most sacred, most human thing in the world. I know society doesn't always make it easy. We see commercials that speak in hushed voices about incontinence. We see adult diapers hidden on pharmacy shelves as if they were something shameful. But what if we flipped the story? What if, instead of shame, we chose wisdom? Instead of hiding, we chose connection. Instead of apology, we chose grace. Here's the truth. Incontinence isn't the end of dignity. It's simply a reminder that we are not in control of everything, and we don't need to be. Real strength isn't about holding it all together. Real strength is about letting go of shame, of secrecy, of the fear that we are somehow less than. I've spoken to many older adults who've lived long, courageous lives, and you know what they say? It's not the big things that wear you down. It's the quiet fear that something small, like a leak, an accident, a moment of need, will make others pull away, so we shrink, we isolate, we stop saying yes to dinners, to hugs, to laughter. Not because we want to, but because we're afraid of what might happen, and that's what I want to change, for you, for me, for all of us. Because you were not born to disappear. You were born to live, to be loved, to belong, even with a weak bladder, even with changed routines, even with extra care. Let me tell you something personal. A few months ago, I was at a small birthday lunch. I was wearing light-colored pants. I laughed a little too hard and felt it happen. A leak. I excused myself quickly, heart pounding. But when I returned, my dear friend, 82 years old, cane in hand, smiled and said, "You okay? You know, I've got a backup pair of pants in my car, just in case. You're not the only one. Sweetheart," and just like that, no shame, no silence, just solidarity. That's what we all need. Not solutions that fix everything, but people who understand and let us breathe again. So if you take one thing from this video, let it be this. You are still whole, you are still worthy, and you are still here. You don't have to earn your place in the world by being perfect. You don't have to pretend nothing's changed. You don't have to fight your body. You only need to treat yourself the way you would treat your closest friend, with patience, with kindness, and above all with dignity. If you're watching this as a family member or caregiver, thank you. Thank you for being here, for listening with your heart. You may never know how much it means when you say, "It's okay, I understand. Let's find a way to make this easier." Those simple words can heal years of silence, and if you're someone living alone, unsure if anyone else sees what you're going through, please know, I see you. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. And you never have to walk this path alone again. So let's end with this. No matter where you are today, but in a small apartment, a nursing home, or the house you've lived in for 40 years, you still have the power to choose gentleness over shame, freedom over fear, and love over hiding. Your story doesn't end with incontinence. In fact, in many ways, it begins again with a new kind of courage, the kind that says, "Yes, my body has changed, but my heart is strong, and I still choose to live fully, quietly, beautifully, one honest step at a time." Thank you for spending this time with me. If this video touched something in your heart, please consider sharing it with someone who might need it too. Because sometimes the most healing thing you can hear is, "You're not alone in this. We'll talk again soon, but until then, take care of your body, be gentle with your thoughts, and trust that your life still holds deep meaning. Even in the quietest moments, you are loved, you are enough, and you're doing just fine." Thanks for watching. Leave a comment with number 1 to let us know you watched the whole video. We appreciate it. Please subscribe to the channel to encourage us. We appreciate you. See you in the next video.